Today we are discussing the volume of a cylinder. Remember, volume is the space inside of a solid. So if we look at the first one, it's the volume of a prism. To find the volume of any prism, you take the area of the base times the height. Well, if we look at a cylinder, the base is a circle. So we reviewed that the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So the area of our base is pi times radius squared times the height. Remember again, the volume is the space inside a solid. And it is measured in cubic units. So remember, cubic is your exponent of 3. So to go ahead and figure out the volume of our first cylinder over here, we're given the radius and the height. It's very easy. Remember, it's the area of the base. That's why it's a capital B times the height. Area of our base is pi times radius squared times the height. So pi, we are going to use 3.14 times our radius, which is from the center to the side, is 3 squared, times our height, which goes from the center to the center of the other base, is 6. So when we multiply that through, it's 169.56 cubic feet. Oops, here we go. This one's a little bit different because it's given the diameter. That only adds one step to it. So remember, the radius is halfway. So half of 3 means the radius is 1.5. So if I look here, again, it's the area of the base times the height. Pi times radius squared, because the base is a circle, times the height. We're going to use 3.14 for pi times a radius of 1.5 squared times our height, which is 5. When we multiply that through, it gives us a value of 35.325 cubic inches. And remember, volume is cubic, so make sure we label it correctly. The following is just the same type of problem, but instead it's given to us in word story form. So it says, at a grocery store, a package of breadsticks is shaped like a cylinder. The volume of a cylindrical package is 36.9 cubic inches. So this time they're giving us the volume. The radius then, the volume is 36.9. The radius is 1.4 inches. What is the height? So this time we're trying to find the height, which is a little bit different. It says round to the nearest inch and use 3.14. So basically, I can just look at the picture to get my formula and write it out. So if I look here, again, we know that the formula is area of the base, which it's a circle, so it's pi times radius squared times height. And that equals our volume. Well, if I look here, they give us the radius as 1.4, and it said in the directions to use 3.14 as pi. So 3.14 times the radius of 1.4 squared times our height. We don't know our height, we're trying to find it, so it stays as our variable, is equal to the volume, and this time they gave us the volume, so we get 36.9. This means we have an equation that we want to solve. So I need to simplify the left-hand side, so 3.14 times 1.4 squared gives me 6.1544. And we do not want to round until the very end. Times the height is equal to 36.9. Our goal is to get the variable by itself, so I need to get the h by itself. The opposite of times is to divide, so I need to divide both sides by 6.1544. On this side, they cancel out, and if I divide on that side, I have to divide on this side by the same 6.1544. When I put that in my calculator, it's going to give me a long decimal. But if I remember in the directions, it said round your answer to the nearest inch. So since it's 5.99 something, 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 5.9 rounds to the nearest inch of 6 inches. And since it's a height, it's just a distance. So our height here is 6 inches. Since it's a story problem, you should write a sentence for your answer, preferably not have the weather bug pop up again. Those pop-ups tend to like me. So if I look here, I would write the height, because that's what it asked for, is 6 inches. And that would be our statement for the answer. The next page then discusses your guided practice questions that you'll have completed when you come to class. Page 134, 1 and 2, and page 135, number 3. And then the assignment that matches this is page 138 through 139, 1 through 4, 7, and 10.